This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Police seek 3 men in relation to murder of female janitor. The police are seeking 3 men in connection with the death of 45-year-old Angela Forbes, otherwise called Jello, a janitor of Southborough, St. Catherine. Forbes was shot and killed in Miranda Path, Southborough last week. Reports from the Bridgeport police are that about 11:45 a.m., Forbes had finished cleaning the Southborough Park and was in the area to hand over tools to a man when she went to visit a relative. She was reportedly attacked by 3 armed men who opened gunfire at her. After police personnel were summoned, Forbes was seen lying on her back in a pool of blood with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to her body. She was transported to hospital where she was pronounced dead. The police are pursuing leads in the case. Man killed, woman assaulted during St. Elizabeth home invasion. A man was killed, another shot and injured, and a woman sexually assaulted during a robbery in Nemard Town, St. Elizabeth on Sunday, March 20. The deceased has been identified as a 29-year-old Jermaine Green, otherwise called Jimbo, a farmer of Nemard Town. Reports from the Junction police are that about 8:15 p.m., armed men invaded the family's home and demanded cash and cellular phones. A struggle ensued between Green and one of the gunmen, during which he was shot. A male family member was also shot and injured. A woman was also sexually assaulted during the ordeal. The robbers escaped with cellular phones and an undetermined sum of cash. The police were summoned and the injured people were taken to the hospital, where Green was pronounced dead on arrival, and the injured man and woman are being treated. The police are appealing to anyone with information that can assist investigators in locating the perpetrators of this heinous crime to contact the Black River Police at 876-965-2056, Police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. Government to reinvest in JUTC. The government is carrying out an operational review of the financially distressed Jamaica Urban Transit Company in order to make it more efficient and self-sustaining. Transport Minister Audley Shaw has announced that the state will be moving to revamp the operations of the bus company and rebuild its fleet. As part of that initiative, 150 new buses will be acquired in the first instance. The Transport Minister was speaking on Sunday at a Jamaica Labour Party Area 3 Council meeting in Clarendon. The JUTC is projected to rank up an $8 billion loss during the 2022-2023 financial year. This is a $2.1 billion increase from this year's estimated losses. Opposition spokesman on transport, Michael Phillips, recently said the government must make serious decisions regarding the operations of JUTC or it will not survive.
When we left government in 2011, we handed over JUTC with over 400 buses in the system. Now we have just over 200 buses in the system. I have to thank the Cabinet and the Prime Minister that 2 weeks ago approved the purchase of 50 new buses this year for the JUTC. And then we are going to target another 100 buses. But what we're going to do is move with technology. All of it can't be diesel buses anymore. We're looking at electric buses and compressed natural gas buses because plenty problems with the diesel, including stealing of the fuel.
Body found on Walton Park Road. The Hunts Bay police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a man whose body was found on Walton Park Road in Kingston on Sunday, March 20. He has been identified as a 20-year-old Michelle Nugent, unemployed of Brotherton Avenue, Kingston 13. Reports from the police are that about 11:50 a.m., residents discovered the body and alerted them. On their arrival, the body was seen lying in an open lot with gunshot wounds. The scene was processed and the body removed for post-mortem. Man killed in Salt Gully, St. Catherine. 45-year-old Kurt Nemard, a laborer of Salt Springs, St. Catherine, was shot and killed in his community by unknown assailants on Friday, March 18. Reports are that about 2:20 p.m., citizens heard explosions and summoned the police. Upon arrival of the police, Nemard's body was seen along the roadway with gunshot wounds. The scene was processed and the body removed to the morgue. The police are investigating. William Knibb student fatally stabbed at school. A William Knibb Memorial High School student succumbed to a stab wound allegedly inflicted by one of his schoolmates at the school on Monday afternoon. The alleged attacker is now in the custody of the Trelawney police. The identity of the deceased has not yet been released. Elderly St. Anne woman missing. 67-year-old Olga Eason, a domestic helper of Retirement District, Brownstown, St. Anne, has been missing since Saturday, March 12. She is of dark complexion, slim build, about 152 centimeters or 5 feet tall. Reports from the Brownstown police are that about 4:30 p.m., Eason was last seen in her community. Her mode of dress at the time of her disappearance is not known. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Olga Eason is asked to contact the Brownstown police at 876-975-2233, Police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. UIC plans a unity walk for downtown. Cops say it is not permitted. Jamaica's third political party, the United Independence Congress, has organized a walk set for downtown Kingston Tuesday morning. The Joseph Patterson-led party last year organized a march on Gordon House that resulted in a confrontation with the police. The protesters took to the streets for the planned march despite the police warning that the activity would have been in breach of the Disaster Risk Management Act. Patterson was arrested in that march. But in a notice yesterday, Patterson asked others to join the party in its One Jamaica walk. I have 3 words for you this morning. They are unity, liberty, and health. Tomorrow we walk for unity, liberty, and a healthy society because we know the value of these 3 little words, Patterson said in the notice. The walk, scheduled for 9 a.m. at the Ward Theatre downtown, is aimed at uniting the nation. When quizzed as to whether the police gave permission for the walk, Patterson said the organizers have done the necessary preparation. But Superintendent Beresford Williams, head of the Kingston Central Police Division, said no request for any walk or protest has been received and as such none has been given. Whether walk or march, we have not received any such application to do any such demonstration. We are not aware of it, Superintendent Williams told the news. Following Patterson's arrest in last September's march, scores of disgruntled protesters marched towards the Kingston Central Police Division headquarters, demanding that he be released. The UIC was registered as a political party on December 7, 2019. Child out of surgery after St. James crash. One of 2 children injured in a crash on the Rose Hall Main Road in St. James on Sunday has successfully had surgery on her face, while the other, whose injuries were less severe, was treated at hospital and released. The children were among passengers traveling in a Toyota Noah bus, which reportedly overturned after hitting a median near the Bardstown intersection of the well-traveled road. Eyewitnesses told the news the girl who had surgery had been sitting on the side on which the vehicle landed after the spill. The crash occurred about 7:05 p.m. 8 people, including the driver, were traveling in the bus that was heading from Falmouth in the direction of Montego Bay at the time of the crash. All the adult passengers have also been released from hospital. Clarendon businesswoman convicted for fraud. A Clarendon businesswoman who was charged with defrauding a man while he was imprisoned in the U.S. was convicted last week before the Supreme Court. Zila Johnson was convicted of 14 of 15 charges at her trial. Johnson, who chose not to testify or make a statement to the court in her defense, will be sentenced on June 17 for forgery and uttering forged documents. Prosecutors led evidence that from 1994 to 1995, Johnson fraudulently transferred the titles of several properties owned by the complainant to family members. The complainant denied signing off on the transfers. Prosecutors relied on evidence provided by officials of the National Land Agency that fraudulent documents were submitted for the transfer. Johnson is also accused of defrauding her former husband while he was in custody in the U.S. That case is scheduled to be tried at a later date. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.